Walk down the frozen food aisle of any American grocery store, and you will see an entire wall of frozen pizzas, dozens of brands, hundreds of options, and most of them look pretty similar. A picture of a golden, cheesy pizza on the box, promises of restaurant quality, and a price tag that seems too good to pass up. But here is the problem. What's actually inside those boxes is very different from what's on the outside. Some frozen pizzas use real cheese, simple ingredients, and recipes that actually resemble food. Others, they're built from imitation cheese, processed meats, refined starches, dough conditioners, preservatives, and additives that would make a chemist blush. Consumer Reports recently evaluated dozens of frozen pizzas, and here's the truth they found. Almost every single option got a poor to mediocre score. Not one earned a spot in their highest rated category. So which brands should you actually buy, and which ones should you leave on the shelf forever? Today, we're breaking down 10 frozen pizza brands you should avoid, and 3 that are actually worth your money. The hidden problem with frozen pizza. Before we get to the brands, let's talk about what's actually in these boxes. Frozen pizzas are ultra-processed foods. They're frequently loaded with salt, saturated fat, added sugars, and industrial additives like artificial flavors, synthetic preservatives, and emulsifiers. Some popular frozen cheese pizza brands have nearly an entire day's worth of saturated fat and 60% of your recommended daily sodium intake in a single serving. Studies show that eating a lot of ultra-processed foods is associated with a higher risk of developing chronic diseases, and frozen pizza sits right at the top of that list, alongside sugary cereals, chips, and energy drinks. But here's the thing. Not all frozen pizzas are created equal. We analyzed dozens of brands and found that some use mostly simple ingredients: wheat flour, tomato sauce, olive oil, garlic powder, and real mozzarella cheese. Others contain so many preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, and artificial ingredients that their ingredient lists read like a high school chemistry experiment. So let's get specific. Here are 10 brands you need to avoid. Number 10, Totino's Party Pizza. Totino's has been around for decades. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it's made with some of the lowest quality ingredients you'll find in the frozen food aisle. Registered dietitian Tara Collingwood points out that Totino's uses rehydrated mozzarella, which is not really cheese at all. She explains, when imitation foods are used, the final product is low in nutritional value. Imitation cheese and meats don't have much protein. The ingredient list is long and packed with artificial ingredients and preservatives. And here's another problem. Environmental Watching Group has flagged that Totino's products may contain TBHQ, a preservative that could harm the immune system. You're not getting pizza, you're getting a chemistry experiment shaped like a pizza. Number 9, Celeste Pizza for One. Celeste is another budget brand that looks like a deal, but costs you more than just money. Like Totino's, Celeste uses imitation cheese. According to Collingwood, the imitation cheese is just oil, potato, and cornstarch, and devoid of protein, calcium, and other nutrients typically found in real cheese. And there's another red flag. Some Celeste pizzas contain titanium dioxide, a color additive that may cause damage to DNA. A single-serving pizza that's missing real cheese and might contain a DNA-damaging additive. That's not a meal, that's a problem. Number 8, Tony's Frozen Pizza. Tony's might taste good, but taste is not the same as quality. The crusts are made from refined flour and oil, which is devoid of a lot of nutritional value, says Collingwood. Other ingredients are also highly processed and contain fillers that lack nutritional value. You're paying for crust that's mostly empty carbs and oil, topped with processed ingredients that offer almost no real nutrition. It's filler on top of filler. Number 7, Red Baron Classic Crust. Red Baron is one of the most recognizable names in frozen pizza. It has been on shelves since 1976, but recognition is not the same as quality. Red Baron pizzas are packed with preservatives, processed cheese blends, and meats treated with additives. Consumer Reports actually rated the Red Baron Thin and Crispy Crust 5-cheese frozen pizza as one of the lowest rated frozen pizzas they evaluated. And customers agree. One Walmart reviewer called it overprocessed cardboard. When Consumer Reports and customers both say it is one of the worst, you should listen. Number 6. Great Value Frozen Pizza. Walmart. Walmart's in-house brand is everywhere. It is cheap, and it is made with some of the cheapest ingredients possible. Great Value frozen pizzas usually contain artificial flavors, soybean oil, and low-cost processed ingredients. Artificial ingredients are used to keep the costs down, but it also brings the nutritional value down with it, says Collingwood. And here's the kicker. Great Value has also been caught up in recalls. In 2026, the USDA issued a public health alert for multiple Great Value frozen pizzas sold nationwide over possible Salmonella contamination. The problem was discovered when the FDA notified the USDA that multiple establishments received dairy ingredients, specifically dry milk powder, that had been recalled for Salmonella risk. The affected products include Mama Cozzi's Biscuit Crust Sausage and Cheese Breakfast Pizza and the Biscuit Crust Cooked Pork Belly Crumbles, Bacon, Pepper, and Onion Breakfast Pizza. Salmonella contamination can cause diarrhea, abdominal cramps, fever, and in severe cases, hospitalization, especially for older adults, infants, and those with compromised immune systems. When a brand has a nationwide recall over Salmonella, you should think twice before putting it in your cart. Number 5. Jack's Original Thin Crust. Jack's is another budget brand with a long shelf life, but that shelf life comes at a cost. Jack's pizzas rely on artificial preservatives, flavor enhancers, and minimal real cheese. Collingwood puts it bluntly: if they used real ingredients, they wouldn't have to use flavor enhancers. When a brand has to enhance the flavor artificially, it usually means the natural flavor is not there to begin with. Number 4. Caulipower Margherita Pizza. Caulipower markets itself as a healthier alternative with a cauliflower crust, but health claims don't always match reality. In a taste test of 10 supermarket frozen pizzas, Caulipower's stone-fired margherita ranked dead last. Reviewers described the crust as way too thin and incredibly bland, like a water cracker in both flavor and texture. One-star reviews on Amazon told the same story: complaints about the lack of spices in the sauce and the terrible crust. A healthier pizza is great, but if it tastes like cardboard, what's the point? Number 3. Newman's Own Thin and Crispy Supreme. Newman's Own has a great reputation. They donate profits to charity, and they make some decent pizzas, but not all of them. The Thin and Crispy Supreme pizza was ranked as one of the worst frozen pizzas by food critics. The sauce was overpowering, the crust was not actually crispy, and the overall experience was disappointing. Even good brands make bad products. This is one of them. Number 2. Screamin Sicilian. Screamin Sicilian promises bold flavors and generous toppings, but the reality doesn't always deliver. One reviewer described a Screamin Sicilian pizza as absolutely disgusting, deriding the sauce as highly acidic tomato paste. Another review called out serious texture problems that ruined the entire experience. When a pizza that costs nearly $8 tastes like acidic tomato paste on a bad crust, you are not getting what you paid for. Number 1. Mama Cozzi's, sold exclusively at Aldi. In 2026, the USDA issued a public health alert for Mama Cozzi's frozen breakfast pizzas sold nationwide over possible Salmonella. The problem was discovered when the FDA notified the USDA that multiple establishments received dairy ingredients, specifically dry milk powder, that had been recalled for Salmonella risk. The affected products include Mama Cozzi's Biscuit Crust Sausage and Cheese Breakfast Pizza and the Biscuit Crust Cooked Pork Belly Crumbles, Bacon, Pepper, and Onion Breakfast Pizza. Salmonella contamination can cause diarrhea, abdominal cramps, fever, and in severe cases, hospitalization, especially for older adults, infants, and those with compromised immune systems. When a brand has a nationwide recall over Salmonella, you should think twice before putting it in your cart. Section 3. The Midpoint Reset. Now, before you swear off frozen pizza forever, here is the good news. There are brands that actually care about what goes into their products. Brands that use real cheese, real ingredients, and recipes that resemble actual food. Consumer Reports found that only a handful of frozen pizzas scored well in their evaluations, and nutrition experts agree some frozen pizzas are better than others. So here are 3 brands that are actually safe and actually worth buying. Brands that are actually safe. Number 3. Trader Joe's Organic Roasted Vegetable Pizza. Trader Joe's might not be the first name you think of for frozen pizza, but according to Consumer Reports, it is one of the best. The Trader Joe's Organic Roasted Vegetable Pizza scored the highest among frozen vegetable pizzas in Consumer Reports rankings, scoring a 62 out of 100. It received a nutrition score of 3 out of 5 and a sensory score of 4 out of 5. Consumer Reports notes the pizza has a crispy Italian-style crust and mild seasoning with a variety of vegetables, including roasted peppers, eggplant, zucchini, and onion. And at around $4.50, it is one of the most affordable top-rated frozen pizzas you can buy. For a frozen pizza, that is impressive. If you want the highest-rated frozen pizza according to Consumer Reports, look no further than California Pizza Kitchen. The CPK Spinach Artichoke Crispy Thin Crust scored the highest of any frozen pizza Consumer Reports evaluated. What did they like? The crispy, flaky crust and the bold garlic flavor. Consumer Reports praised the texture and flavor profile, noting that the creamy white sauce combined with the toppings creates something that actually stands out from the usual frozen pizza disappointment. At around $7.46, it costs more than the budget brands, but you get what you pay for: real ingredients, real flavor, and a pizza that actually tastes like food. And the #1 brand you should actually buy? Amy's Kitchen. Consumer Reports named Amy's Cheese Pizza a big winner in their staff taste tests, praising its cheesy, garlicky goodness and yummy crust, crispy on the outside and tender inside. Amy's uses high-quality organic ingredients: organic unbleached wheat flour, filtered water, organic extra virgin olive oil, and real mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. Their pizzas are made without hydrogenated oils or artificial preservatives. And dietitians agree. When Eating Well asked 3 dietitians for their favorite frozen pizza, they all pointed to similar brands, with Amy's consistently mentioned as a top choice. Amy's costs more than the budget brands, but you are paying for real food, not imitation cheese, not fillers, not preservatives, real ingredients that you can actually pronounce. 5. What to look for. So how do you spot a good frozen pizza? Here are 4 things to check. First, look at the cheese. If the ingredient list says rehydrated mozzarella or imitation cheese, put it back. Real cheese should be the first cheese ingredient. Second, check the crust. Look for simple ingredients: wheat flour, water, olive oil. Avoid dough conditioners, refined starches, and long chemical names. Third, watch the sodium. Most frozen pizzas range from 20 to 60% of your daily recommended sodium limit per serving. The lower, the better. And fourth, avoid artificial additives. If you see artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives like BHT, BHA, or TBHQ on the label, choose something else. Here's the bottom line. Frozen pizza is not going to win any awards for health food. But if you are going to eat it, and millions of Americans do every week, you should at least know what you're eating. The budget brands are cheap for a reason. Imitation cheese, processed meats, artificial preservatives, filler ingredients that offer almost no nutritional value, and in some cases, contamination risks that could actually make you sick. But there are better options. Trader Joe's, California Pizza Kitchen, Amy's Kitchen, brands that use real ingredients, real cheese, and recipes that actually taste like food. You do not have to give up frozen pizza, you just have to be smarter about which box you grab. Check the ingredient list, look for real cheese, avoid the chemical cocktails, and remember, if the price seems too good to be true, there's probably a reason. Your freezer deserves better, and so do you. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you make a smarter choice at the grocery store, hit that like button, drop a comment with your go-to frozen pizza brand, and subscribe for more consumer investigations. We'll see you in the next one.